welcome to Palma Boat Show. This is an absolute first for me. I am very privileged to be here to witness the world premiere of the boat behind me. That is Interboat Intender 950 Cabrio. It's a brand new model from Interboat. She is ultimately the biggest Intender in their range, and I'm dying to walk you around and get you on board. I'm actually on the steps up to the boat. This is a great view. First thing that hits you, there'll be a lot of people that are looking at this video that are possibly Interboat owners, possibly somebody that's got an 820, and I think they might be thinking, what's the difference with this boat from the current boat? And straight away, as soon as you stand on the swim platform here, it is the scale of the thing. So when you stand back and look from a distance, you think, oh, it's just a big 820. But once you're up here, first thing that hits you, this enormous sun pad on the back of the boat. They've got that freestanding armrest there, but if you took that out, it's definitely a 3-person space, possibly even 4. I think for me as well, if you have the opportunity to stern to moor the boat, this walkway through here is fantastic because it means you're not climbing over anybody that's at the back of the boat. So because this is a med boat, you'll notice that on the flooring, on the S-Tech, they've gone for a white piping, which I think in this environment works really, really well. It's going to be cooler on your feet, I'm guessing. So, huge sun pad. There is storage underneath there with gas struts that lifts up. You can put canopies, swimming kit, whatever you want tucked away in there. And then round to, it's like an aft helm, but it's not right at the back of the boat. Obviously, being a bigger boat, visibility is quite important. And certainly when you come round to the helm position and look forward, I don't feel that my view is going to be impaired. I'm now sat down, and again, I feel like I've got really good visibility going forward. Again, I think it's hard to convey on video, but the extra space in here is phenomenal, and I think you feel it particularly when you're down in this cockpit with the beam, which is significantly bigger than the 820, the previous, or the smaller model of this boat. So I think first thing that hits me, if you're all out for the day, you've got people sat around in this forward area as you might have in an 820, but on this boat you have everybody sat around. If somebody does want to go and use the toilet, you can just make your way straight on down there. Nobody has to move, nobody has to take any cushions out, and you've got that space permanently. So I'll take you down there in a moment, but for now we'll just walk around the cockpit. There is your view aft. Central helm, your engine is all housed down under the cockpit floor there. And there are many signature similarities with the 820, but just bigger. So you've got this space on the port side for your sink. Is all much wider, double cupboard underneath there. So coming around onto the starboard side, you've got a decent sized fridge with counter on top, but it's bigger than the fridge that you have in the current 820. Of the canopy arrangement with the boat, this particular one has been fitted with a tonneau, which I'd really recommend, obviously in this environment, but in the UK environment the same. And then going forward, you've got the spray hood, which falls in line with other models in the range. Being a lot bigger, this is a bit more flexible. So you can see that the side panels there are removable. So if you wanted to keep this as a forward bimini, I think what you do is just take the side panels out, take the front panel out, and then you've got shade, but you're not working with a lot of canopy. They have fitted some screens in this one to get some more light into this area, and also if you're in a coastal environment, that's probably going to improve your visibility a bit. Sat filming at this slightly jaunty angle with the camera to try and demonstrate how big the space is. So in previous boats, if you're sat down under the spray hood, you might feel a little bit not claustrophobic, but tucked in there. You can see there is absolutely masses of head height here, partly because the cockpit floor lowers down in this forward section. But what I'm also trying to show you is how big the space is where I'm sat. So we've got the table here, and looking round, if you were anybody wanting to go down there into the lower area where the toilet is, you'd all be sat up here. There's tons of space. Let's take you down below. This is very much a day boat, so there is not a proper berth down here. What they have done is created this large area, which is great. So underneath that panel there, you've got a pump flush toilet. That's an option on this boat. This particular one has been fitted with this nice wooden enclosure as well to make it a little bit more discreet, and then you come down here and you've got this bench. I can see this being a great place if you are on a day out. You're not necessarily going to come and sleep in here or anything, but it's a great place for you to change, store your kit, have your picnic, have everything tucked away. If you were out with children, it's also a place for them to get away from the sun. They might want to go on their iPads and just sit down here tucked away. So to give some context on height, everybody knows I love a little bit of context on height in closed spaces. I'm sat down on the bench and you can see there is tons of head height. I'm not actually sat on the loo, but if you were, that's just beside me, there would be space to sit there, and you could close the cabin doorway. It's absolutely discreet, so great use of space, I think. Imagine in a space like this you've also got storage down here, which is great. So underneath here you can lift up the cushions, and then you've got storage, which is good. Of helm position, it's a bit of a signature Interboat intercruiser style of helm, which gives you a lovely social place to sit with all your friends, have a good view out of the boat, and not be sat forward as you are on some boats, missing out on the social aspect of it. This particular boat has been spec'd for this market, so we've got a much larger engine. It's a Yanmar, and you've got a chart plotter on there, which if you were on inland waterways you probably wouldn't need that kit, but that gives you a look at the helm, how much space there is to move around the helm, which is good. If you've got a lot of people on here, you're never going to be sort of stepping over each other. It's very well spaced out for that. To mention briefly is the practicality of the boat, working it, moving it through locks if you're on an inland waterway. So I would recommend it's a boat if you're going to be using that for that you have bow and stern thrusters. This particular boat I believe only has a bow thruster, so access to your rear cleats is good and easy for mooring. If you do want to get up on deck, you've got this side step which takes you onto the side deck, and as you go round, I think you've probably seen them there on the roof of the spray hood, you've got handles if you want to move forward, and you've got a decent side deck to walk around and get to your forward cleats. Other intenders in the range, if you want to helm the boat and have a little bit more of an elevated driving position, there is the option to just flip this bolster down. Then you can just perch around and sit on that, and that gives you an elevated driving position if you're coming into a tricky mooring or you just want a better view out. It was in build at the factory. This is the first time I've seen this boat and I am absolutely blown away. You don't appreciate the space until you go from this onto an 820. So we're really excited to have this particular boat joining the lineup. Please do get in touch. There'll be more details and full specs to follow very soon. Thank you.